Hello everyone, it is Chainsaw Man Tuesday and my name is Bento. Today I'm failing to comprehend another chapter of Chainsaw Man because of my illiteracy. With 205 we got a big one and I am so freaking happy. I'm hyped, I'm excited, I'm filled with joy. We finally got the big reveal to who is essentially behind much of what has been happening behind the scenes in Chainsaw Man Part 2, which is now causing a little bit of a dilemma for Denji. Fight the falling devil? Save Yoru? So let's dive into this chapter and have fun with it, shall we? Gamer Subs has a mega deal going on. Use code CTACTICS to get 10% off their wide selection of big titty cups to drink titty milk from. That was gratuitous, but every purchase with my code gives me a commission. As Denji looks down upon the severed head of this mystery figure, and as the Fire Devil looks down on him, which is symbolism, and a good visual setting up the stage for this chapter, the Fire Devil is severely disappointed in Chainsaw Man, Denji. He doesn't remember who the man is, and so the Fire Devil, in his own words, reminds him. He begins to tell Denji through this awesome projection through the flame in his hand that there were twins who found him injured. So they took in fire and treated his injuries. This showed to the Fire Devil that humanity, while being very complicated, can also be very caring and compassionate, even to devils who essentially see them as their playthings or source for blood and power, showing the duality between the two. And they are able to open Fire's eyes through stories of how Chainsaw Man overcame his own nature as a devil to become a symbol of hope for humanity because, as the twins told Fire, if you have justice in your heart, even he could become a symbol just like Chainsaw Man. Upon hearing this, I found that quite interesting, because of how Fire eventually responded. Urging him to join, he does so as he empathized with the twins' messaging. If we go back throughout much of Chainsaw Man, just in general, this is a recurring theme of humans coming into devils' lives, usually through humility, compassion, or even empathy, and changing a devil's mind. It's really never through aggression though, because as an example, Pochita was saved through Denji sparing and healing him by giving up his own life force, his blood. Rize was saved by the love and innocence of Denji, which is a little bit more complicated because she's a fiend. Well, how about Fami, who changed her mind? Makima and Nayata, by extension, was saved through the pure love of Denji. And yeah, I know the story behind Makima. It's a little bit complicated for the people who are ready to call me dumb over the littlest reasons. Ugh, simmer down. The point I'm trying to convey here is that devils have been shown throughout Chainsaw Man a tendency to be open to allowing human messaging to influence them, or if you want to put it another way, to change their minds. It just needs to be the right message at the right time, which does seem to be in a devil's youth when they are most impressionable. Interesting. So, inspired by their message, Fire made contracts like any other devil would, but under the goal of only contracting those with justice in their hearts. So the twins started saving people, and when Fire saw the proud look on their faces, it soon came crashing down around him when one day Chainsaw Man appeared, their hero. And as they fought the cockroach devil, it grabbed the younger brother and he would end up dying. Fire saw this as Chainsaw Man choosing to let his brother die over saving a cat. Which, to be fair, from Fire's perspective, he's not wrong to feel hurt by this seeming contradiction. But this is where the issue lies in Fire's logic, and goes even beyond what I'm about to say here. Because he was taught one way by the brothers, which was justice, so there, ironically, was a sense of imbalance when faced with something out of the control of justice. The Fire Devil's understanding of how justice works was flawed because it came from a flawed human perspective. This is because, as a concept, justice in a meta sense is a human construct. It is a way to keep law and order and be both rigid and malleable. It's a system that is meant to evolve and mold, if you want to use that term. But nonetheless, like how we say time is a human construct, justice is also a human construct. It doesn't really exist. These are just tools and inventions to bring more structure to humanity. Because without structure, there is only chaos, which is basically what the devils in Chainsaw Man are. chaos. So when the Fire Devil does the unthinkable and punishes through his human and narrow point of view of justice and threatens to kill Yoru and Asa, giving Denji yet another impossible choice, Chainsaw Man in his eyes effectively killed a man who idolized and supported the same message, and that makes Chainsaw Man not a hero, but a villain in the eyes of flawed justice. Which I think we can get into an argument and semantics about how justice can't be perfect either, but I think it's worse than that. He tells Denji that he isn't here to make him apologize, but to basically put him in a situation where he shouldn't make the same mistake, which is wrong. That's completely antithetical to justice. Merriam-Webster defines justice as the maintenance or administration of what is just, especially by the impartial adjustment of conflicting claims or the assignment of merited rewards or punishments. The quality of being just, impartial, or fair, and conformity to truth, fact, or reason, i.e. correctness. From the looks of it, Fujimoto wrote Fire to comprehend only the last definition, and doesn't seem to take into account the other ways it is used. You see, justice is a very powerful word that is loaded and means many different things that are all nuanced, which is the point of justice. It is justice. Justice is nuanced. It's not black or white, which is why Fire is wrong. He is applying his own point of view at this moment through corporal punishment of sorts. He is acting without checks, balances, or with impartiality. He is telling Denji that he is going to make him suffer either way, and is punishing him by making him agonize over something you can't possibly be right on. The answer in either scenario is wrong, which is not impartial, fair, or just. So, when confronted with Yoru and Asa on the verge of being crushed, Yoru demands an answer from him. Do you wish to save me? Which Denji replies, straightening up and replying with a yes, ma'am. This is a classic Denji being the biggest sub you know, who is weak to pretty much any woman in front of him, especially Yoru. But here is the thing. Now that he has to face off against the Falling Devil, which I am so looking forward to, what is Denji going to do? How will he react? Who will he choose? What will he choose? I think this is the perfect stage that Fujimoto has set to put Denji through yet another trial, unfair as it may be, but that is life. Justice doesn't exist. It is a construct, and without that construct of justice to guide us, we fall. It is very clear that what comes next is the Falling Devil in her prime, making cooking puns, making us giggle, and simp for her, and forcing Denji to either fall or rise up and answer the call of what is just. I think that solution is saving Yoru, and I think that comes through Denji pointing out the hypocrisy of Fire and revelating that there are no right answers. Because while Meowie did tragically pass away later on, he did just as Fire would do, save the people who meant the most to him. Because humans are animals of self-preservation. Is that a bad thing? Does this mean we are all doomed as a society to fall to our animal instincts? No, that's how things like justice were created. So don't worry your pretty little heads, Asa Mitaka and Kobeni simps. Justice is our guidelines, and through this trial, I think the roles will be reversed on the devils who proclaim they're the arbiters of what is just, despite them not really having the nuance to understand it completely. Just like humans. Join my Discord where we chat Chainsaw Man, Dawn to Dawn, anime, and help support each other by building each other up. If that sounds refreshing and fun, because it is, join now. I'll see you next Tuesday on the 17th for Chapter 206 and Chainsaw Man Tuesday. Bye-bye.